Some guys got a podcast, and some girls do too. But this guy Shane that I'm talking about, he's got a podcast, and man, it'll fit for you. It's heavy metal talk. It's good talk, heavy metal talk. Let's get to it now. A lot of people used to say I did a mean Joe Cocker back in the day. What would you do if I say attitude? Which almost sounds like Huey Lewis. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Which is the same as, a lot of voices. What's going on? It is heavy metal now. No more Huey Lewis in the news talk. You can't have a heavy metal podcast where right out of the goddamn gate someone says, have you talk about Huey Lewis. How you doing? I hope all is well. Welcome back to episode 187 of the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo podcast. Explosive, new, fun podcast where it is interactive. You are here. We have your comments. You have listened to the last episode. It's a major portion of this podcast. I'm not going to lie. It's a solid 45 minutes of this podcast is your feedback. But that's what I enjoy to do. Sure, we'll splash around some heavy metal news stories and we'll talk about things in between that. But the real meat and potatoes is the conversation there. And that's what I love to get to. So this is a no request zone, as Miss Althea has lovingly provided that thought into my head. So this is a no request zone. So you don't put requests in. Now, Rebel Metal, I did see your comment. I do not want you to have your feelings hurt in any kind of a way. We like to give you a razzing. Yes, you put the request in there. It's coming this Sunday. You're going to see it tomorrow. But I do not want you to feel shamed or any kind of a terrible way, because it's not meant like that. It's really not that big a deal. Okay, we're just trying to cut back on because I want to hear from you people. You're real folks. You're real human beings out there. I like to hear what's going on with you in your world and what's happening with you and what your thoughts and takes are on the whole podcast. Could it be something I say in between the Sebastian Bach here with the dang fucking microphone up? Is that guy not go everywhere? He's everywhere and all things at once, isn't he? This man he's going to fall over on a stage. One day when he goes, it'll be rocking on the stage. But we do the heavy metal stories. We have some fun. We talk about things. First up, right out of the gate, I need to ask you guys if this is a synchronicity. I have a TikTok that I did here from work. And I was having a bit of what's going on with everything? And I'm telling you, I'm straight up with you guys and honest. I'm seeing all sorts of wonderful, magical things in the sky and everything. And I'm just having one of them damn moments. And then I look over into my passenger seat and there's a damn dragonfly. Do you remember the black and white dragonflies that I told you I've been seeing? They just pop up out of nowhere and vanish into fly off somewhere. Take a look at this. Now that's a good looking man there. And that's exactly the same way I look. There's not a lick of difference. Stardom has done nothing for me. Right? But I think did I spell synchronicity wrong? I feel like it's wrong, and when I was trying to do that in the TikTok thing, it wasn't really telling me. But essentially, I'm going to pan that damn camera over, and you're going to see a beautiful living, because I picked it, I'll tell you the rest of that story after you see. Beautiful, stunning dragonfly sitting in the passenger seat next to me, almost as if to say, Shane, what the fuck are you going on about? Your little problems, your bills, your jobs, your bicker with a family member, politics, or whatever the hell it is. It's meaningless chatter when there's a dragonfly sitting next to you. Look at this. Riding with a passenger today. Say hello to my little friend. Right there.
Look at that. Would you just look at that?
Look at that. Get his wings in there. A freaking dragonfly. It's living. It's alive. And it's got its little hooks. You see this little hooky toes there? It's got little hooky fingers. I stuck my finger over there, right in its beak. And, It had one leg free and it was going like that at me, but the other one I felt like was kind of stuck, so I had to kind of help him get it free. I did not harm the dragonfly in any kind of a way. Now watch, you'll see his little leg
in
flip.
my truck. This beautiful dragonfly is in.
Did you see his foot? So you saw his little foot. So it was the other foot that was kind of caught, right? I mean, look at that. That is Uncle Pappy. That's your buddy. That's the guy that never wants you to call him to ask to move. That's the one thing that Uncle Pappy never wants you to damn do, is call him to move. But I mean, oh, that's a fucking dragonfly. Anyway, so the second half of that, and pardon me, we will get into the heavy metal news. Jesus, if anyone's freaking right now, don't worry. We're going balls deep in heavy metal news. I got Phil Lewis. He's going to give advice to young musicians on how to make it in the biz. You know, don't do American Psycho hardcore record in the middle of your career. Frank Bello reflects on when he joined Anthrax. Blothar, the guy that took Odorous' spot, he's going to talk a little bit about something, and we've got your comments. Now, I'm just going to tell you about the dragonfly really quick. So, I come around the other side, and I thought maybe if I open the door, it'll get the air or something, and well, I thought its little tutor was stuck in the seat, and its little back end there, was doing all of that, all over the place, But basically, when I went over there, and then he climbed up on my fingers. He climbed up on it, and I said, oh my God. I don't deal well with bugs, but when they're beautiful like that, I'll take a bite, a sting, a pinch, or whatever. There's a tree right there, so I put him on the tree, and he kind of did that. He was doing that with the wings. And it had its little ass back in the air again, So you tell me if that's a synchronicity or not. Perhaps I labeled that wrong. I want to welcome you, and let's get into it now. Rebel Metal, do not feel bad about that. It's okay, okay? We love you, and we want you to stick around here. We want you to hang out. We don't want you to be feeling like you've done something, okay? This isn't a cardinal sin here. It's just if I've got 12 comments here, and if I have to go through 35 of them someday, where it's all requests or something, that would be ridiculous. And we're just trying to minimize that now, okay? So just relax about it. Everything's going to be fine with you. Sebastian Bach here. Can you believe it? That leather vest of his still fits after all these years. She says, dear, we can get that tailored down just a little bit longer so it hits the hip bone. He says, no. I wear it this way. And that's a mug. It's a good thing this guy doesn't have a freaking beer bottle in his hand right now, right? Sebastian Bach admits certain notes on Skid Row's debut album are very challenging to sing live. And you know this, right? Because any singer, when you put something out and you're a high singer like that, you're inevitably over the years, you're going to lose that. You're going to lose those high notes. Except for unless you're King Diamond, because he's spot on to this damn day. There's some singers out there that can hold those notes for a long time, but most can't. Let's see what he's got to say about it. In a new interview with Australia's heavy former Skid Row singer, Sebastian Bach, why he put a shrimp on the barbie with us down there in the old Okie Doke, spoke about his upcoming tour of Australia, where he will perform the band's debut album in its entirety. He said his strength. Well, man, we actually did that in America way back in 2019 because it was that 30-year anniversary. You know, the 30-year anniversary of the album's release. It came out in 1989, man. And we were booked to play Australia in 2020. But then, can you guess what happened? Yeah, that damn virus come through. Locked us all up. Well, it locked us down. Aren't we happy we made it through all of that? It's pretty cool. I mean, how many people say, oh, I lived through a plague? No.
And man, the coronavirus pandemic happened. Oh, so we couldn't leave the house. And we have not been back since. And the promoter was like, mate, please, I'll give you a wallaby. Give us that tour. Because everybody was excited. Because everybody was excited about it, man. It never happened. So we're only doing this in Australia. This is only for Australia. We're only doing it for Australia, and this is only for Australia because it was already going to happen. And then it couldn't happen. Remember why? Because I told you. So we're going to do it.
Sebastian continued.
The first record is only 45 minutes long. So that's not a full show.
It's a full show to me. I've talked about it before, guys, but I'm good with a 45-minute set from bands. I don't need to see the 2 hour. I mean, sometimes when I look at them concerts, what did I watch this week? Or I was gonna watch. I was like, that's 2.5 hours long? What are you playing? It'll have to come to me. And for some reason, Bud Dwyer just popped in my head. Now I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm curious if in the comments you guys mentioned any of that business. Filter, Hey Man, Nice Shot, all that.
So we'll be doing new songs. New songs from my sweet solo record, Child Within the Man. We'll be doing a couple songs from Slave to the Grind.
That's not how that goes, is it?
We've got some really good new songs. What Do I Got to Lose?
And we did a reaction video to that, and it is a pretty solid tune, if I remember.
Well, What Have I Got to Lose is the closest thing that I've had as a hit in 35 years. People love that tune.
Did I like it, Sebastian? I'm pretty sure I liked it. I find it really hard to shit on people's art. You know what I mean? How do you tell the band that's down the street that they're not very good when they're doing something? You're not good because you're not doing anything. You just have an opinion about what they're doing. Anyways,
The video almost has 2 million views, which is double platinum in my day. So, we got some great new songs, man. And people love the first record, Skid Row.
another little snot thing happened there. Did you hear it? Well, Bach added,
We only have one life.
I am going to have to burst that bubble there, Sebastian, but you're only in a meat sack, pal. You got a lot of lives.
We've got to make the most of it.
But it's always a good idea to take the life in which you have and make the most of it. You're here learning lessons. You're here taking on challenges. You're here triumphing and overcoming and uplifting.
So we're going to give you that tour, Mr. Australia. Hands down, you're getting that tour.
Asked if you had any difficulties relearning some of the songs from Skid Row's debut album after not performing them for as long time. Sebastian said,
Well, Mr. Australia, I'm going to have to tell you that there's a certain notes.
Are they going to name the tunes? Because it should be I Remember You and all that, right?
Well, there's a certain notes that they're very challenging. We actually in America did another tour that we did, the Skid Row record, second album, Slave to the Grind, in its entirety with 40 cities. It's crazy how much I've done this. But what I learned, would you like to know, Mr. Australia, what I've learned? And you said, was it challenging relearning the first record? I had to think about that, but I learned the first record was more about singing and Slave to the Grind was more about screaming. A song like Living on the Chain Gang.
Back on the chain gang, live on the chain gang. Oh, I live on a chain gang. I didn't know they did that song. That's awesome.
You know, it's off a slave, living on a chain gang, off the slave. This is just me screaming at the top of my lungs for the whole song. On the first record, there's more pop sensibilities. Slave to the Grind, I think, is way more metal, for sure. But the first record, Skid Row, it captures a real innocence about us.
Oh, yeah, you guys were really innocent, weren't you? What was the first thing Sebastian Bach said to Sabo when he walked into the band room for the first time?
It captures a real innocence about us as a band. And about the times, 1989, it has a real innocent quality to it.
Bach's 5 dates. So he's going to hit Perth. I didn't even look. He's going to hit Perth. He's going to hit... What is it? There's Perth, and then there's something Wallaby Town. Something. I know I'm going to know all the towns as soon as they name them. Let's see. Bach's 5-date tour of Australia will kick off on November 21st in Perth and conclude in Brisbane on November 29th. Where's the other ones, though? Perth, Brisbane, Sydney, because I remember the Sydney Opera House, and where Crocodile Dundee. You know that? Out there in the woods where she was out there in her swimming suit. She was just washing herself off a little bit. And Crocodile Dundee come running over with a big knife out. And she thought, oh my heavens, he's going to kill me with it. But then an alligator jumps out of the water. And she happened to have her, maybe that's what she was doing. She was just in her naked nude buns. You could see her nude buns. And that's what Mr. Paul Hogan, the crocodile hunter, king, whatever the hell it is, Crocodile Dundee, was looking at her buns. And I think she had the water bottle and the strap was around her neck and she was dipped down like this and he was going, oh yeah, mate. Oh, that's right. Get the whole bottle down in there. Get the whole bottle down. Oh, that's right. Well, then he noticed while he was gawking at her that there was a gator coming at her and the gator grabbed the water bottle on her neck. And that's when he lunged out and for a moment she thought, my God, he's come to kill. Then he kills the alligator. And then he made her like a 15-piece set of luggage out of it. It was just amazing. Bach fronted Skid Row until 1996 when he was fired. Instead of throwing in the towel, the remaining members took a hiatus and went on to play briefly in a band called Ozone Monday. In 1999, Skid Row reformed and, after a bit of shuffling over the years, featured a lineup consisting of bassist Rachel Bolan. It's earring to nose. Guitarist Dave the Snake Man Sabo, in which the minute Sebastian Bach walked in the band room, you know what he said to Sabo? Hey, what's up, man? They call me Baz, and I got a 9-inch cock. Why are you telling Sabo that? Why are you telling anybody that? I mean, who goes, well, that's fantastic. Would you use it on me? You know, I mean, You know what Sebastian Bach could say to me right now, because he's probably watching this. You know what he's going to say? That's what a little penis man would say. He's not talking about his penis all the time, so he's got a tiny one, and he don't want to say 2-inch. You know, walk in and say, hey, Snake Sabo, how you doing? I'm the new singer. I got a 2-inch. This might be rated R, this episode. Rob Hammersmith and singer Johnny Solinger. Of course, we don't, that's all well and good, but it wasn't until, Eric Gronwall became part of it that eyes and ears all started percolating again. There again, once again, there he is, Sebastian Bach. My God. Just a treat, just a pleasure. Now, here we go. Look at this. He says, all right, mate. All right, mate. How you doing, mate? Well, I'd grow a nice mustache, mate. I got a nice mustache, mate. I mean, he's dapper. I think that's the word you use, dapper. A dapper gentleman. Phil Lewis, he's going to give advice to the young youth about the industry. Here's a spoiler for all of you people. Major record labels have always been a scam. I mean, they're making all of the money. And let's face it, everyone is making all the money and the artists are not making all the money. That's just the truth all the way around. And maybe Mr. Phil Lewis, he might offer that up and say that. I mean, he's a, oh my God, is that the Paul McCartney bass that he's got on his wall? Or just the shape of it? LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis offers advice to young musicians. You should have some kind of a backup plan. It's like those ghost hunters. You know, the show Ghost Hunters? They have a backup plan. They are ghost hunters, but they also work for Roto-Rooter. So during the day, they're, you know, some ladies over there going, I got a real clog in there. It's a real big clog in there. And they go in there, and while they're plunging and they got the snake and they're tooling it out, they get a call. Well, it's from, what was her name? Savannah? And she says, we got one. Yep, the old penitentiary, the Virginia State Penitentiary, indeed is extremely haunted. And he's... So that's a backup plan. They are ghost hunters. They are also plumbers. Me, I am a slave to this society and have a full-time job. And then I have this. This is my backup. In a new interview with Tom Bryce, Reverend, the Sports Wire Radio. I mean, I guess there are probably a couple LA Guns fans that listen to Sports Wire Radio, right? I'm sure there's LA Guns have fans that watch sports. You know, and maybe Sports Wire Radio is a pretty good one to have Phil Lewis on. But he says, frontman Phil Lewis was asked, what piece of advice would you give to musicians who are starting out and looking to break into the biz? No, he said his transcript, well, in a creative environment, the advice that I never took myself, you should have some kind of a backup plan. Typo negative. They were plumbers. Peter Steele worked at the Parks Department. A couple of them were plumbers. And they went on to rock in typo negative. Musicians who started... Well, in a creative environment, the advice that I never took myself, you should have some kind of a backup plan. I never had a backup plan. But in hindsight, there were some times when things weren't that consistent. Just be aware... I'm all over the place with this damn accent. Just be aware that when you're starting out, it's going to be sporadic. When you're going to be really busy and then you're going to go sit through fucking excruciating length of time between shows. It is only what you make it, Phil. It can be excruciatingly painful waste of time between rocking the people, or it can be breathing fresh air, walking around, having a chat with the locals. You know, you don't have to talk to the kids at the concert. You go down and you talk to the locals at the cafes. And you'll go crazy. You'll think, that's it. What am I doing? What am I doing? And a lot of self-doubt, but stick with it. And it's really important to remember the joy that each gig gives. It's all the time around the gig that sucks, but each time we play the gig, it gives to you. It's each profound communion. And I do believe that is a communion. Concerts are. It is a, you know, when things are hitting on all cylinders and the vibration and you can feel it and it's, you know, what's the word for it? Palpable in the room and you just feel that energy, that is good stuff. If I wasn't so bleeding badly interrupted, if you will, you are with your band and are in another city. You are playing your music to people who enjoy it, and that's just such a great feeling. And never forget that
and I never did. I never forget that, and I never did. I've never forgot what I charge I get from it. I never forget what I charge I get. I'm nervous.
Me too.
I'm so nervous before I go on. I still get it. And Steven Tyler, Aerosmith's famous for saying, embrace the butterflies. But I tell you, when I'm on stage a minute or two into the first song, I'm more relaxed, I'm more calm, I'm more focused than... It's like Zen thing for me.
Speaking of Zen thing, I'm going to put my little cursor right there so I don't lose my spot. Billy Corgan interviewed Zen, everything Zen, the Bush guy. He married, now I'm forgetting his name. He married what's-her-face from No Doubt. Lackluster. I mean, it was an okay interview. It wasn't about the guy, but it seemed like, I think what was going on with it was there was this kind of vibe feeling because Billy was like, hey man, I really, I was getting the idea that he was basically like, hey man, I had you on my podcast because I really shit all over you guys for years. But then I listened to you and I went, that's pretty good. But it was just kind of a, I feel like I'm losing my favor or my interest. Go hard for it. Now, please don't lose interest in this podcast. Don't say, oh, is that what it is? Is you get 17 in, then you lose interest? I didn't know that. I'm going to do 1,000 of these, okay? So be interested in all of them. A minute or two in the first song, I'm more relaxed, more calm and focused, and I feel like a big boy. It's like a Zen thing for me to be in that position. And then I come off stage afterwards, I was like, what the fuck was I worried about? And I'm always doing that. I won't change it. It's always going to be that way. But, yeah, enjoy the aspects of it and don't forget your sole objective is. What is it? If your objective is, well, I'll tell you, I want to be a rock star and make lots of money. There's not much I can tell you. Oh, that's fun. But if you want to embrace a bohemian lifestyle, an alternative way of life, and be an artist, I can tell you about that for hours. But yeah, just stay true to the craft. Those are pretty good words there that he's spitting. They were pumping there for, when they get the couple of them hits there, they were doing all right. But hey, I'm down with a bohemian lifestyle. Although it is so great isn't it wonderful when you see those concerts where there's a trillion adoring fans in a stadium? All we hear is radio gaga, radio goo goo, radio, and you're just going, damn, I wish I could do that. Some people just don't have the talent that other people have for that thing. Now, that being said, every single human being on this planet has a talent. It may be unrealized, undiscovered just yet. It may come later. It may already be here. But every single human being has a talent. Even if you don't know it or not. You will. LA Guns' latest album, Leopard Skin, was released in April. It marked the first fruit of LA Guns' reunion with Cleopatra Records. And Cleopatra Records are the ones that put out those Danzig movies. A label known for its diverse roster and innovative approach to music production. Okay, let's get into Frank Bello. I feel like we're whizzing right on through this. And there's another critical warning. Low system memory impacting performance. Sure it is, of course it is. This guy you can't really tell, and I'm probably, I might be in the way of where it says Frank Bello here, but this is Frank Bello. Do you know him? He's the bass player for Anthrax. And I saw this and I says, my heavens, that's a little overboard. He says, I almost shit my pants when I because he was excited as hell for Anthrax. Now, the reason why I wanted to read this is because I thought Frank Bello, I mean, of course, I know him from all of the early Anthrax records, but I thought he was just one of their family members. I thought Scott Ian, Charlie Benante, Frank Bello, I thought they were all kind of related in some way. Cousins or something. You know how they are in New Jersey. Hey, my fucking cousin, second time removed, but then she married Mindy Estravagano, and now he is my cousin again. And I mean no disrespect to, Big Tone, any of the Italian folk out there. You know this, my heart, okay? Frank Bello reflects on his first show with Anthrax. I was shitting in my pants. And I was excited as hell. So, yeah, I got to find out how this all come together. In a new interview with the Music Zoo, Anthrax bassist, and I'm not going to launch into Scorpions, song The Zoo, Anthrax bassist Frank Bello reflected on his early days as a musician. He said his transcript, I grew up in the Bronx, New York. My heroes? Or are you asking me my heroes? My father. Oh, no, wait. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. My heroes, my father figures, were musicians. For that matter, Kiss, Knights in Satan's Service were big heroes to me. They were like the superheroes to me. I said, my God, look at these guys. They're like superheroes. Like comic book heroes almost. Something I could look up to and say, I want to do that. I got to do that. Hey, Charlie, yeah, what, man? I got to do that someday. Charlie Benante, drummer of Anthrax, were related. Editor's note, Charlie is Frank's uncle. Yeah, I ain't being in a band with uncle. No uncles. Cousins, yes. Uncles? We grew up in the same house. Me mother, my father. We grew up in the same house. We would jam. We would jam all the time. I would be playing guitar, and he's really good. Good guitar player also. And Charlie Benante writes Anthrax songs. That's right. You heard it. You heard it right here. Charlie Benante writes freaking Anthrax riffs. And then Scott goes, how do you play it? No, I'm just kidding. Okay? And I'm sure Scott Ian writes riffs too, okay? But I want to say, if I'm lying, this may be a lie coming out of me, but I want to say that all that early SOD stuff was Charlie Benante's riffs. But someone can get in the comments, like I ask you to do every week, and say, you don't know a thing about metal, sir. You don't know a thing about metal. We grew up in the same house. We jammed all the time. He's a good guitar player, that guy. So we be playing, and he says, you're playing the bass parts on the guitar. I automatically hear bass first before a riff. Well, I don't know why. I was playing the bass parts. He goes, you should switch. I did, and then we were locked in. They call it the rhythm section. You got a bass player, and then you got the drums. And then when they come together, they call that the rhythm section. It locked in. And immediately it was like, this is what I'm made to do. Yeah, this is for me and my family. Regarding his early musical influences when it comes to his bass playing, Frank said, obviously my top three are Geddy Lee, Rush, Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath, and Steve Harris of Iron Maiden. Also Gene Simmons from Kiss. There's a lot, but those are my top three for playing every day. Well, I'm seeing 5 here, or 4. Geddy, Geezer, Steve, Gene. That's 4. Bello also reflected on his debut show as Anthrax bassist more than 4 decades ago. He said, the early days of Anthrax, remember, I was a tech. People don't know that out there. They're going to know it now because Shane's going to read it on his fucking stupid podcast. But I was a tech before I got the band Anthrax. Before the first record came out,
I was a horrible tech. I could barely change a string, I tell you true. I couldn't do it. It wasn't in me. I didn't have it in my blood. But I was a friend that could help them lift the gear. I had good arms. My first show with Anthrax is on YouTube.
Oh, man, I wish I would have saw this and fired that up.
I found this. Somebody sent this link to me.
And you clicked on it right from an email. Don't do that. Don't be clicking on links and emails saying, oh, emergency, emergency, the banks or whatever, and then there's a link you got to click. Don't click links. That's not good. But good news here is that the link he did click was the show.
Was my first show.
Anthrax was Lemore's in Brooklyn with my, I think it was Jackson Explorer bass.
Me mother gave me the money. Rest her soul.
She's out and about. You know, she's not, well, we'll see, you understand. She just left the meat sack.
She gave me the money for this bass because I couldn't afford it. I was working so hard, but the bills were piling up and I couldn't do it. Now, I did have almost half, something like that. And she gave me the rest of the money to play this gig. In my face, you could see I'm shitting in my pants at the same time. As this is my first show, and I'm excited as hell. You could see both of them in my face.
You could see excitement and shitting yourself. Back in 2019, Bello told the session panel about the biggest musical influence, Geddy Lee, Geezer Butler, Steve Harris. Who's now my favorite? Who's now my favorite, are you asking me? And Geezer. No. We're done. I ain't got patience for this no more. Oh, was he saying something about friends? Bello told the session panel about the biggest musical influence, Geddy Lee, Geezer Butler, Steve Harris. Who's now my friend, and Geezer is too. Which one, Steve or Geddy? I'll tell you right now, I've read Geddy's book. He's everyone's friend. He's a sweet soul.
You know what's weird? When you become friends later on, I try not to be a fanboy. It's hard because I can't be talking normally. I'm always trying to talk normally. But I still feel like this is Steve Harris I'm talking to. I still feel like the first time I saw him live on stage. Now I have my little peepers up there. This is Steve Harris I'm talking. I couldn't believe it. I saw him live on stage, and the first time I heard the first Iron Maiden record, what that did for me. At this point, I've told him so much, and he goes, it's okay. He just shut me down. Geezer, the same way. He's a sweetheart of a man. He'll give me a look. Okay, that's it. I'll just shut it down and stop asking too many questions. But I want to learn. I still want to learn. And I want to learn to know what amp did he use on this record. Steve Harris, did you use flat wound strings on every record? And I demand him to tell me.
You could there's probably opportunity for you to scoop up strings just laying around if you know the bass tech. You could go over and just ask the bass tech for Iron Maiden and say, hey,
let me ask you something there, Smitty. What kind of strings that guy use?
He's not going to go like this with it, say. I ain't telling you. He's not going to do that. All right, so try that out. In April 2024, I see Stormtroopers of Death down here. Want to see what that is? In April 2024 and early May 2024, Bello sat out Anthrax's South American tour, as well as 2 U.S. festival dates due to personal reasons. Filling in on those shows with the Anthrax founding member, and original bass player Dan Lilker. I met Dan Lilker twice. I met them when I saw Nuclear Assault open at a small club back in 90-something. And they kicked ass, and I jumped off the stage, and there was no one in the round there, so I landed my face, and I tasted blood and stuff in my face. And I can't remember the drummer's name, but I kind of hid out. The way this club was set up was the bathrooms were in the back. There was a door, and that door you opened up went straight in onto the stage. So the drummer was standing there next to me taking a whiz, and I was ecstatic that they were there. And then he went out, and he started on the drums. So once they launched into a song, I finished, went through that door, and just jumped off the stage to nobody. But Dan Looker, the second time I met Dan Looker, it was at a Brutal Truth show. It wasn't at a Brutal Truth show, but he must have been here in town or something, because the Brutal Truth had played, and then a few days later I went into this bar, and there he was. And I was like, well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Let's get on. Guys, we got one more story here, and we're going to get into your comments. Maybe this will be a 1.5 hour podcast this time around. Oh, now you're getting this after that holiday. There was a holiday for the 4th of July, and you can tell me how that went for you or what was going on with it, okay? Blothar, oh Blothar. Now, I want to say this fellow was a founding member or early on guy, and I think he was Beefcakes. And when he came back, it seemed to be that everyone was kind of going, this is the right guy to do the job. But my heart will always be with Dave Brockie, because he was a real son of a bitch. And you got to listen to the rest of these podcasts to know exactly what I'm talking about. See, that's the great thing, is the people that know this podcast, they know what I'm talking about. 4 decades of existence are quite the accomplishment. Perhaps even greater one is sticking to one's guns and remaining singular in a sea of like-minded acts. The long-running intergalactic metal troupe, otherwise known as GWAR, is celebrating 40 years as a band by releasing the Return of Gorgor EP, a 7-song collection that includes 3 numbers and resurrects the Gorgor character, who in GWAR lore mysteriously disappeared following the 2014 death of frontman Odorous Urungus, real name Dave Brockie. Again, he's not dead. He's left the meat sack. Dave, you hear? Dave. Is that Michael Madsen? What's going on with him? Say, oh my God. Did that say he passed away at 67? And I'm getting his name wrong too, isn't it? It's Michael Madsen. Jesus. Michael Madsen, actor known as Reservoir Dogs, dies at age. Rest in peace, you sweet wow. Michael, where are you? There you are. All right, let's get into this. The EP is almost a throwback of sorts for the band, for it surfaced the humor and fun that was toned down in the wake of Brockie's death. If anything, it allows GWAR to re-embrace an old character and find ways to keep Odorous at the forefront of their minds more than a decade after his passing. I'm not familiar with all of the ins and outs of it. GWAR has proven remarkably resilient in light of not only Brockie's death, but also after some notable down years in the 1990s, which produced albums like Carnival of Chaos and We Kill Everything that have become almost afterthoughts in the massive discography. However, with new blood in the band, including guitarist Grodius Maximus, real name Tom Mahian, and a steady stream of new devotees, there's little to suggest that GWAR won't be around for another couple of decades. With that in mind, Blabbermouth caught up. Oh, it's an interview. Caught up with Blothar, the Berserker Bishop, who previously played bass for GWAR during various stints in the 1980s and 90s and replaced Odorous in 2014. See, so everything I said in my heavy metal news report was true. I am all sorts of out of it. Oh, I was going to tell you about Backpack. I just changed a couple colors. Yes, I'm red as all get out of hell. Yeah, I'm burned. And then someone said, you know, I don't like this. I got that sunscreen, but it doesn't do a damn thing. A damn thing. I'm still burning. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want to burn and have oily skin, or do you want to just burn? Which one is it? Blabbermouth, in your promo reel of the 40th anniversary, there's a line in 1.3 million albums sold. What? Blabbermouth, in your promo reel for the 40th anniversary, there's a line of 1.3 million albums sold. How does it make you feel? Is that accurate? I feel ripped off. How does it make me feel? It's a lot of sales, but it's gore. It's not what it should be, honestly. Gwar, I feel, is satisfied that we've reached a lot of people. I don't think that Gwar has joined the pantheon of the elite and shock rock the way it deserves, especially in terms of commercial success. I mean, the money, the financial part of it, I agree with, because they are shock rock. I mean, that's the mother of my child, first date, Gwar concert, front row. You don't worry about your makeup. Don't worry about that makeup. Because when we get out of here, you're going to say, God damn it. You're either going to say, I like this guy, or, could you imagine someone's, going home to your mom? Mom, I'm going out. How do I look? Mom, how do I look? I don't know. I'm nervous. So you think I'm okay? And then they come home they went to a Gwar show. Oh my God, what happened to you? What's his number? I'm calling him right now. I feel, okay, let's go. I don't think that Gwar has joined the pantheon of success. I think the reason for that is that the band is funny. I think the band has a sense of humor. We're never going to stop mocking the subculture that created us. That's why we started this. People say, you started it because you were tired of art school, tired of this, tired of that. We were tired of punk. We were tired of metal. We were tired of the seriousness and the bullshit. Tired of people forgetting Dr. Demento, whom I listened to every Sunday night, but I also had to listen to, it was like 2.5 hours of new wave music, so I'm very familiar with a lot of new wave music, to get to Dr. Demento. That's where I first heard punk rock. I know what this music is. We all do. It's not about posing as macho, tough guy dipshit. Gwar never did that. The other thing is that Gwar is not cool. If you're not cool, you get cool by attaching yourself to it. I like that. If you're not cool, you get cool by attaching yourself to it. So it's the same thing for you guys with this podcast. I'm not cool. I'm not anything, but you guys are cool because you're liking not cool things. And I'm willing to give that to you. I'm willing to. I give it all. You can see yourself as an outsider or a geek and still be uncool. Well, now, that's a very interesting take you've got there. While still on the 40th year subject, if you don't mind, Blothar, please don't squirt me with any kind of disgusting red goo. You exited the band from the first time in 1993. What would you have said to someone if they told you Gwar would have lasted this long? I would have said, I believe it. But only for the same reason that the average age of the military is 18, because you're stupid. You know what I mean? I would have been, yeah, fuck yeah, we are, because we are because I'm stupid. Seriously, I think that we thought Gwar would do what we always wanted to do, which is exactly what we're doing, but in coliseums. We could, yeah, because you need the room. My band, Die Monster Die, opened for Gwar. I've told that story. You guys know all that. You can go back and listen to there's about 186 episodes. It's in there somewhere. We couldn't stop thinking about the possibilities of the show, such as how much more we could do. That's what we have been thinking about. I remember the conversation. That's the great and special thing about Gwar. That's not a lot of people realize, is that the fun of it. Honestly, I know people watching it, but I like being in it. Scrolling up okay? You come up with something stupid and you do it. I love it. Other bands, you sit around, you do bits and you make yourself laugh, but nobody ever does it. These guys make the shit happen. It's great in that way. One more question from Mr. Blabbermouth. He says, fine answer, Mr. Blothar. Fine answer. Do you think there's an element of having the right... what is it? Mixtures? A mixture of super creative people? Could that be what it is? That's the only thing it is. Yes! Gwar has lasted 40 years. Our fans and some people in our band say Gwar can last forever. We just have to train the right people to do it. That's where they've got a better opportunity because, you know, you're not quite as familiar with the people that are under the Gwar stuff. Boy, I sure would like them to find a... There was just something about Dave Brockie's voice. I love the way he sang and his lyrics and everything else. Now, I'm not saying nothing against Blothar here. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Blow Man. Okay? I'm just trying to say that my heart goes for that guy. Where the people come from, I don't see them. That's not a big, long list of people. One more question from Mr. Blubberman. He says, very well, sir. Very, very well. I feel like this interview is going outstandingly. I've got another one hot down the pipe for you. It's not really a plug and play thing like Kiss has debated on doing. That's been one of the issues with finding somebody. Even musicians, not every player that we've had has been somebody who really understood what Gwar was doing. We got really close with Tommy Grotius Maximus because he loves Gwar. He understood it. Now he understands it. He also understands that he doesn't, well, I was going to interject something in there, but they're art students, so they probably all split it even. Now he understands it, though. You know, if it was anyone else, they'd say, he's getting a paycheck. Instead of being a full member, you get a paycheck. He understands everything about it. Like there are some things to learn. That's cool. That's what you need. Gwar is founded on insecurity and fear. Well, I don't like that. I don't like either one of those. We need to amplify those traits in the people that work with us. Should we do another one? I think we're done, guys, because I gotta go make a bathroom break real quick, and then we're gonna get onto your comments. So good news here is I said I think we're done here, and about 8 people have clicked the damn button. Oh, he said he's done. Turn it off. But this is the best part is yet to come. We got Big Tone coming up first. Bathroom break. Doing it all for my baby. And she's as fine as she can be, doing it all for my baby. And everything she does for me, we're doing it, doing it, yeah. Sang that to my little kitten last night. She was sitting on the bed looking at me. Just the biggest damn eyes in the world. I sang all of that bit. And she just looked at me so sweetly like, oh. I like this guy. Getting into those comments, welcome back. A quick bathroom break. As always, it's always good to come into the comments with an empty tank so I can fill it with these greenies. provided by a company where I'm sure you guys are already putting ads in there. But the problem, the situation here is I need Mr. Liquid Death to say, here is the check that has 5 numbers on it for all the times so far. Big Tone coming in here. It is time for your comments. That's right, the best part of the episodes. Get down here and read your thoughts and opinions on everything that happened last week. And if you want to take part in that, well, I sure hope you do. Big Tone coming in here, and geez, I get nervous. He's had a real rough go of things. Here he is.
Brother Shane. Great podcast again, as always. You never disappoint, brother. Never. It's always a welcome sight during this most difficult time. The Ambi Award. Okay, I didn't know what it was. And it better not be some kinky freaking thing where you get oiled up and you got to go to the award show and all that. The Ambi Award, which is real, is for podcast excellence. Oh, he's got the... Not because it puts us to sleep as you thought. Oh, wait. Podcast excellence. Not because it put us to sleep as you thought. I would never disrespect you like that, brother. Never. And you know this. Bada-bang. No comment on Mastodon other than it sounds like the typical sour grape scenario.
Yeah. When someone leaves the band, there's never a good word spoken. When you see those quick, oh, they were fired. Sooner or later, they come out and they say, oh, let me tell you a little something. He says, Blackie sounds like he's beat up like most of us. Oh, Blackie sounds like he's beat up like most of us from that era. Play hard, pay later. I'm living proof. Boy, you ain't kidding, man. I saw this guy on the bus. And he had all the hallmarks of the coolest dude when you were younger in the 80s and you're going to the keg party and you're going, look at that, there's Alex. He's got the hot chicks, he's got the hair, he's got those big fuzzy fucking boots that I want so bad. He's just got it all, right? And I saw this poor fella and he was in a wheelchair and his tattoos and the Dallas Cowboys hat and just everything told me this was one of those fellas back in the day. And he just is like, dude, this guy's a fucking drug addict. Just go ahead. Somebody throw some pills over here. This guy, watch him. He'll just take it off. You know, kind of that scenario. And now, you know, and I'm telling you, man, you know, midlife, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't have to be, well, that's it. Now, that's what they tell you. You plan for retirement. When it's 55 and up, so you can come live here. You know, that's what they'll tell you. But if you get into your body and you say, no, I ain't going down like that. You can live a long time. And another thing that'll do that, positivity. Anything negative, get it out. It does not serve you, bang, gone. That will add something. Now watch her go, Jesus Christ, I'm having a go. Am I a little overboard? I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm a little wound up. I did have one of these freaking ginseng things. My God. Screaming energy. Because I'm exhausted, man. I don't know how the cloud cover is around your place, but here, all day long, there wasn't a sprinkle of blue sky. It started breaking up in the afternoon, but have you seen that? Where it's like full cloud cover, but inside the cloud cover is haze, and inside that is clouds, and also inside of that is clouds that look kind of dark that have like a silverish kind of a lining around it. You seeing any of that in your neck of the woods? Big Tone on Filter. I was made aware early on what Nice Shot was about. Crazy and true. And take Shane's advice. I wish more people would. You don't need to look it up.
Forget about it.
Very animated. Maybe I should have been in theater. Maybe I should have packed my bags and headed to Broadway when I was younger. Could you imagine that? Quitting the band? Guys, I'm quitting. You fucking quitting? Why? What are you fucking talking about? You're quitting. Well, I'm moving to Broadway. I want to be a Broadway actor dancer type. Yeah. That wasn't an option for me. Big tone on Wolfie Van Halen. He must know him because he calls him Wolfie there, and Wolfie's already said only good people that he likes and knows can call him that.
Wolfie is genuinely a great person.
He does know him.
Not to mention an incredibly talented musician. I saw him a couple of years ago. He was backstage, seconds from taking the stage, and he still had to come over and say hello. I told him that I saw his father. My all-time favorite guitar. I saw your father. My all-time favorite guitarist in this particular building 7 times.
Damn. Well, you're going to be happy to know this, spoiler alert. I will be reacting to, if it doesn't get blocked, and now I got to go through the whole freaking rigmarole with that. We're going to check out Van Halen Jump, because I haven't seen that video since probably, well, I'll explain in the video. And that's going to come out next week. So look at this. What you're getting in the podcast extra. You saw him 7 times. You saw Edward Van Halen 7 times. It could have been for whatever functions, right? Or did you see Van Halen 7 times, and a couple of them was with Sammy Hagar?
And he smiled. Wolfie, the dear heart, he smiled at me. He hugged me, and he said, thanks for that. He was brought up right.
And he really was, man. Because that kid is a talent. And just like a nice fellow. And, you know. Oh, he's done some fancy work here with the AC/DC situation. But Big Tone says, AC/DC, credit for not using pre-recorded material like every other old-time farewell tour acts do. Very true. They have the equity to play as long as they feel they can, in my opinion. I think that might have been the concert that I was thinking, I think I'm going to kick it on. And it was like 2 hours long, like a recent one. Spoiler alert, god damn, you're getting another one that we're reacting to this week that I may have to go through the whole blocking process. When that happens, and they'll always end up on Friday, because you got to go in and fight it, and you got to do this and that. And then they say, oh, okay, yeah, you can do it. We're not going to give you a damn penny for it, but you can do it. So, spoiler, AC/DC coming up this week.
That's the way I want to rock and roll. That's the way I want to rock and roll. That's the way I want to rock and roll.
We're only doing it because I love that part. And it's a good tune. So again, another extra special Easter egg treat for you delivered right here. And another good thing is even if you're not on top of it like these fine freaks are, when you finally get here, you go, oh, that's good to know. Now I know 2 videos that he's done. I can look them up. So I'm always giving. Always giving. They can play as long as they want. That's his opinion, and he's right about it. They are the original creators of the toe-tapping, ass-clapping rock. Say no more. And you can't. Hands down, every single time any AC/DC song comes in, you start bobbing. It's just built into that sound, built into that music. Big Tone says, thanks to Miss Althea and the rest of the OGs in the community for your thoughts and prayers for my wife and our family. We're hurting, but doing our best to cope. Still can't believe it. Ah. I wish you all the best, buddy. I really, 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 really do. It's just hell, man. My God. Big Don says, thanks for the great Saturday, brother. Shane. Oh, and as always, keep 'em coming, brother. Heavy metal emoticon, horns up. Power punch, kaboom, power punch. Loving it. Hashtag get Shane to 100K all the way. That's what I say. Take care of yourself. Do not forget about yourself, buddy. Okay? Keep it on the up and up. Johnny B coming in here. You know, for years I thought the guys in Mastodon were best friends. All the interviews I would see, I did too. Can you hear my guts? I say it every damn time. All the interviews I would see and everything, I would read about them. They were always cracking on each other, laughing and looking like they were just getting along and enjoying the absolute magic and tender hard rockin' they made together as a unit. A band, a brotherhood. And then, out of the blue, Brent quit. Now, to be fair, I've heard rumblings with the Mastodon community that Brent hated doing live shows and touring. Yeah. I'm having a remembrance. Did he get, maybe you might mention it in your comments, but I think Brent got his jaw broken, like a fan or someone at a concert. I first heard this around The Hunter. I love that. I like that album, the album cycle, and refused to believe it. But then I saw them in Detroit a few years back during the tour for Once More Around the Sun, and he was struggling. He just wasn't into it, kind of just going through the motions, as they say. He was the first one off the stage that evening, immediately after the four of them took a very quick bow. But now he's slamming his former mates online. It's really sad, if you ask me. Their albums are incredible, and I love them all in different and nurturing manners and ways. It's just a damn shame. I agree. I like me some Mastodon. They have some just absolutely beautiful music. Even their version of Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin is banging on, and they wrote that about their longtime manager and friend who died. But Johnny B says, yes, back in the day, Blackie could get away with "We Are Sexual Perverts" moniker, he proclaimed, but nowadays he needs to go with "We Are Senior People." I'll never forget the podcast where you were talking in your Blackie voice, describing how he was helping Lemmy. Oh yeah, I remember that, huh? He was helping Lemmy out one evening, getting him ice for his thighs and legs instead of his drink. I still laugh at that one. Wasn't there some lotion involved? I can't remember. But Lemmy did used to wear those tiny little shorts. But that was the style of the 70s, you know. He was a child of the 70s, and he's like, you cut off the shorts and cut them right up to, when you sit down, you don't like to wear underpants. So as soon as you sit down, everything falls out the side. Yeah, that's what he liked. Johnny B says, sadly, I sort of agree with the people saying AC/DC needs to retire. Do they sound great? Yes. Do they still sell out arenas and venues? Absolutely. Their newer albums always have a banger or two on them. But they are far from the Back in Black. That album is 45 years old. Say that again and let it sink in. Flick of the Switch days. I'll never forget the time. Now, Flick of the Switch was the stinker. What the critics panned it, right? I think is that the first one I got? I remember hearing Back in Black. I might have even heard something off of TNT, old Bon Scott stuff, but for some reason I feel like Flick of the Switch was the album that I owned first, and maybe it was just a bad Christmas purchase on Mama Diablo's part. I didn't want this one. I busted it in half and threw it at. Take it back to the store and get me the one I wanted. I wasn't doing any of that. Let's see. I'll forget the time I first saw the video for the song Flick of the Switch. I was 10 years old at my sister's friend's house. They were the first people to have cable TV in my area. Yep. Watching MTV, it came on and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Angus did his famous duck walk and it blew my skull completely off. My mom wouldn't let me buy their album after she saw the cover of it. If you want blood, you got it. Oh, there was a solid couple weeks there when we would go to the grocery store. Because the grocery stores, believe it or not, kids, used to have a record aisle in them for whatever reason. And I go right over, boom, pick that up. Oh God, he's got the guitar going through him. Oh God, I want this. Same thing with my Paul Stanley solo album. And I was really young when First time they had cable TV, yes. My mother just said, ours was very sporadic cable until she started dating a guy that would go up the pole. I was like, oh, they've turned our HBO off again. Well, David, get up there. Watching MTV, it came on and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Angus did his famous duck walk and blew my skull completely off. My mom wouldn't let me buy it after the blood, but eventually I managed to get all their albums on cassette anyways. But the guys need to retire and enjoy the years they have left. That would be an argument I would make is, they've got one hell of a story to tell once they do leave the meat sack. This is all primo stuff, careers they've had. But, sit under a tree for a while. But, if you do that for 50 years, that's all you know, right? Road dogs. And this is super hard to say. That's Johnny B. Still. The UFO UAP topic has interested me ever since I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah. When my mom took my sister and I to go see it at the drive-in. It was a double feature, and the other movie playing that night was Star Wars. Needless to say, you're a Star Wars nut. Needless to say, again, my young skull was blown off my tiny but endearing shoulders. As the years have gone by, I am convinced, as you are, that they're out there and that they are indeed among us. Okay, now here's what. The wonderful thing about what's going on right now is all avenues intersect. AI intersects. Quantum physics intersects. Them deciding this is going to be the time that we're going to introduce ourselves to these people. We've given that opportunity over several decades. It has gone to nut. So now we are going to introduce ourselves slowly. They don't want any panic. They don't want any kind of thing like that. But the beauty is that all of it intersects. Now, what the people that want you to live in abject fear for the rest of your life want you to believe is that AI is coming to life. And when it gets smart enough, those robots are going to come and kill us. We are the problem, not the AI. That's not the problem. So in some kind of a twisted movie, you turn the mirror on yourself and you go, wait a minute, we are the most advanced thing. And we are the ones that are doing the war and all the stuff, And so the beauty of this whole thing is it's all just intersecting. It's all coming together. And it's an absolute wonderful thing because they are opening the door to a galactic community. They are opening the door to all of the things that they have to offer. Free energy, and this is really down into the rabbit hole, but it is a situation that is happening. Let's just get this. Let's get this right out of the way right now. They are here. They've been here. This isn't one of these things of where people think they've always been here. The only difference is we haven't been aware of them, And that is going to change. And you're going to see that, and it's going to be fine, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Don't tell me when I got a goddamn dragonfly that flutters on down through the window and sits its ass down that things aren't good, right? Anyways, Star Wars, you saw that. It was a great movie, and they got Luke Skywalker in that. Yeah. Because I like the first three. I mean, I've seen most of them. But anyways, as the years have gone by, I am convinced, as you are, that they are out there and that they are indeed among us. I think there will be a huge disclosure. There has to be. This is what it's all about, is them pushing and pushing and pushing. You got to start talking about us on the news sometime. You got to start talking about it sometime. And that's what this is. Light shows at night. And, oh my God, and what's this? And mysterious things that are popping up. You know, I just saw something the other day about, they just found a sword with writings on it from that would changes the whole timeline of human history. It's like it's all coming together because it's. I mean, and some may call it. I mean, you know, I'm not per se a religious type of person, but you can kind of call it a second coming of sorts. They're going to introduce themselves to us at some point. And we're going to be very happy about it. And I'll be right there going, hello. Take me to your leader. I'll be the first one, right there in line. Anyways, okay, done. You are 100% correct. I do like seeing that. For those that know, we know, and it will be less shocking, and that is part of, you got to kind of, it's to calm and soothe, you know. Because there are people all over the world that are tuned into what this is all about, what's happening, that they're here and that they're trying to slowly but surely say, hello, everybody. Please, you know, they're so tender and fragile. And like, as I gather it, as I feel it, the anger and the hatred and all that stuff is, what is it? We that's not part of our shtick. We don't do those things because there's abundance for everybody. So why do we need to go and take that when we can have whatever we need and whatever we want? That's kind of the idea. There's nothing to fear, and it's all love, 100%. Things are going to change in a big way, and it is coming soon. So I don't need to repeat that because you're saying it. I've completely stopped reading what the talking heads are saying because of so much disinformation and deceit. And that is the thing. They say there's going to be that. They're going to try and tell everybody that we're there to kill y'all, take this, do that, whatever. But it's easy to point out that could have been done a long time ago. You know what I mean? And like I also said in the last podcast, if it's current situation at hand or aliens, I'm taking aliens, regardless of the outcome. If it's business suit, gavel, the working folks are just going to keep on a-working and we're going to keep trying to soak you for every last thing we got until you got nothing, I'm taking aliens. I've completely stopped. Yes, good. Don't watch any of that, you know. At some point, the news will have to say, what the hell is going on? But you also have to understand there's big money in that. So they're like, no. And there's also, you know, that nervousness of people going, they get scared. We are cave people. We think we're the biggest thing. The smartest thing. There's nothing out there that's smarter than us. That's what they want to tell you. But when it comes to reality, we are not advanced at all. And this thing is humming around us. And going, want to be part? You can. Want to? And some of those are going to go, no. And everyone else is going to go, bop, bop, I'm a beam me up. Take me to you later, baby girl. Take me up, take me up. I've lost it today, guys. I mean, I cooked in my skin. complete cloud cover, cooked in my skin. How do I get burned? It was completely cloud covered. Maybe that's yesterday's. What the talking heads are saying, because so much information to see, it was starting to wear on me and starting to affect how I felt on a daily basis. Anything that makes you go, cut it. Because that is what it is designed to do. Make you think about it. Remember? War. Worry about yourself in here. And I'm just telling you this because I did it. I was locked into every news article, every story, every this, every that, all the time. And then when I cut it loose, I went, oh my God. Put the phone down. I bought that game freaking, oh God, I love it. Little Link. What's his name? Little Link. Oh, Link. Link, wake up. What is that game? It's Zelda. Breath of the Wild. And I'm just a little fella running around and shooting these red bat-looking things and just picking up. It's wonderful. I put the phone down. You know, it's so much information coming in all the time from everywhere at you. When you stop and try that, I'll be interested if anyone mentions the 20 minutes when I see. That'd be interesting if no one mentions if they've ever sat down 20 minutes in the dark with themselves and just sat there. Let's see. He's still got a little bit here. Let's see if he says it. I wonder if you guys go, Jesus Christ, he just cuts off. Oh. The talking heads are saying, because it was starting to wear on me and how I felt on a daily basis. I was continually going back and forth and up and down, and now I don't do any of that anymore. I'm moving forward with that, and I've never felt better. Cut out all that junk, that media, that. You know, there was a time you'd go from podcast to podcast about bad news guy going, I'll tell you why we gotta build a bigger wall. That's what we need to do. We need to build a bigger wall, and I'll never get in. And then you'd hear the other guy, and it's just a back and forth. And it's just like, as soon as you cut all that out, it's almost like it vanishes from your existence. The higher you get out of it, the farther you get away from it. What good does it do you anyways to sit and dwell on something that you cannot do anything about? What you can do is take care of yourself. I'm sorry about this. I hope everyone is having a fabulous week, and I hope that the heat isn't wearing too heavily on all of you. Where I am, it's in the high 80s and 90s daily and humid as hell. Oh yeah. Sweat everywhere. Yuck. Until next time, keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep on dancing the night away. P.S. Shane, don't ever forget that you gotta cry tough out on the streets to make your dreams happen. You gotta cry out to the world to make it all come true, yeah. Gotta aim high, baby, whether you win or lose. Is that what he says? That was a good tune, wasn't it? Cry Tough that was a solid one. Hashtag get Shane to 100K. I appreciate that. Brought to you by, liquiddeath.com and benhogan.com. Is that the official website for Ben Hogan's golf shorts? Finest product ever made. I'm rubbing my inner thighs right now and enjoying it. It's the little things in life. It really, truly is. Comfortable shoes and comfortable shorts. And you're just like, it's the simple things in life. You will get by. Like that, what was the Grateful Dead used to sing that song? You will get by. You will win. I'll tell each and every person, listen to my words right now, and you're going to say, I don't believe you, Shane. I do not believe it, but I'm going to tell you something. You all are about to win. I mean, that wasn't even, if I was going to be, cool about it, but what was that? Yeah. Falling Tower 969. Oh, Jesus. Falling Tower. Kev Thulu. All right, I like that. 13 comments, 2 hearts. Now, I don't understand what this means, Kev. There are no rails when you ride the short bus. Rebel Metal. Oh, no. What's this? Is that a filter reference? Okay, Johnny B's down there asking the same damn question. Oh, yeah. Okay, short bus. Yes, Kev. He's speaking in riddle. There are no rails when you ride the short bus. And that's the Short Bus Filter album. So Johnny B was asking, okay, you're going to get a heart for that. Maybe you're a mysterious fellow. The ladies love you for that. He's so mysterious. Kev, have you met him at the bar? He is so mysterious. He said, I ride the short bus. And I was just like, what? Now, here, you guys, you can see Rebel Metal. And I saw this one pop up in the comment area. And it says, I made the mistake of requesting a song in the comments a few weeks ago. I did not know the rules, and I apologize. It seems to be a sin equivalent to murder around here. It will not happen again. Rebel Metal, first, heart, we love you. It is not equivalent to murder. It's a goof. Now you know, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. If you stick around and you hang out and you chill out with us, you'll be one of them over there in the comments going, bro, you shouldn't do that. Edit that. Get that up. Dude, you will. If you like me enough to hang around. Hey, John Heffron coming in here. I haven't seen his little face in a while. 10 comments, 6 hearts received. Where you been? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. John, I think we need a special episode that is nothing but a conversation between Blackie Lawless and Eddie Trunk. Is it? Oh, Eddie, what have you done with my white moccasins? I'm looking for them. I was going to get us some chicken wings tonight, and I can't find my moccasin. Oh, well, I moved them out of the mud room. That room is used for, like, when you come in, and your feet are dirty, and then and I like to put them in there. Eddie, you don't ever put my white moccasins in the mud room. I know what a mud room's for. Something like that, John? Clip that up and animate it, and let's get it out there. Somebody, some amazing freaking Simpsons guy that, if you listen to this podcast and you work for the Simpsons, clip those bits up, animate them, and let's get them out there. Miss Althea coming in here, and we got Mike Buchanan to end the whole thing off, and I don't know what the damn hell is, but I have done a sin. And I'm ashamed of myself about it, and I might get a smack in the ass from Miss Althea about it, but I was at some point, I don't know where it's at, what's gone, but the Gazette maggots. So I am recording it this week. And the Gazette's maggots will be on full display for the first listens. Once again, another delicious spoiler. Maybe she'll mention it, but I felt bad. The Dumbstruck Fool for the episode 1 club says, yes, from the episode 1 club, right there at the beginning. Brent Hines, on Brent Hines. Here we go. Mastodon doesn't fit into my agenda, but I give it to him for being ballsy enough to openly vent without filters on social media. That parentheses sandwich thing. The sick. That reads as sick is a writer's edit note that means something was transcribed exactly as it was written. So, and nothing was corrected on the part of the editors or proofreader. In the case of Brent's Instagram comment, he literally wrote, I want Miss being in a shit band, ... and it is obvious that he meant I won't miss, ... The writer of the Blabbermouth story did not correct this and left the comment stand and let the comment stand as it originally literally written. Therefore, the note of... I'm loving this. I'm trying to get it to sink in now so I never have to think of that again. And then as soon as someone goes, what the hell is that? I can go, you don't know what that is? Sick. Dude, you don't know what it is? Therefore, the note of sick after the word want was added. Did that make sense and help clarify things? It did. That made me dizzy. Miss Althea on Blackie Lawless. I am honestly thankful his health is finally getting up to speed, but I am also honestly tired on that ongoing narrative. And I agree that we are sexual perverts pretty much equates to we are on your neighborhood's watch list at this stage. Ew. That only works when you're 20-something. Dude, you're a freaking sex pervert. I know I am, dude. You know, but when you get his age, you can't. You're just a creepoid. You know, it's like that. I felt creepy that time. Remember I told you I went to the goth club and I got out there. I was by myself. You know, I just got out there to get down to a little Susie and the Banshees, you know. And that couple right there's going, oh, check out that old dude. And I was only in my 40s. You know, and to get that, I just walked right off. I was embarrassed. I'd had a couple drinks and I was still embarrassed by that. It's like, check him out. Oh, he's the fucking old guy rocking out there. And I wanted to say, sir, I too know Susie and the Banshees music. I'll have you know. And when she comes on, I like to dance. Miss Althea on Richard Patrick and Hey Man, Nice Shot. Until now, I had no idea who that song was about, and I previously never once thought it was about Kurt Cobain. I will again say that, for me, the song is best associated with Season 1, Episode 6 of Supernatural. And someone got kapowed in that. I'm going to say a supernatural power punch of some sort, and that song was playing. It's a fight scene. I swear I say, hey man, nice shot. Right? I knew people that really absolutely loved that show. A guy that I worked with. And he would go on and on and on. Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? Dude, have you started watching Supernatural? Have you watched it? And then, you know, by the 40th time, I was just like, well, now I'm never going to watch it. But I've heard it's great. Miss Althea on AC/DC. Just now, people are barking about them needing to retire. I have been saying this for the past 30 years. I was huge into them from the Bon Scott years up through For Those About to Rock. Then I jumped off the train. I got a good smile and a laugh out of your mention of Joy Division and the English beat. Although modern English, I knew I was going to goof that. Because English beat was more of that ska. Mirror in the bathroom, please don't. She's going to correct me again on that. Okay. Joy Division and English beat. Although modern English did I'll Melt With You, not them. One of my most hated songs of the 80s, by the way. Sorry. I mean, I'll Stop the World and Melt With You is, yeah, I'm about done with it. And to be honest with you, I got me a great big 80s new wave playlist that I like to listen to, and it's in that algorithm. So I have to keep hitting the button on it because it's somehow it always makes it in. Miss Althea on the Revenant's Kiss Alive 2027 prospect. One word. Sold. Play on the East Coast, the Delmarva area specifically. That must be lovely there. The Delmarva? That's a nice name for something. The Delmarva. Where do you live? The Delmarva area? Oh, really out there? And I'll be there. Miss Althea's going to be there at your gig if you do it on the East Coast in the Delmarva area specifically. Revenant. Where was he? Was he in here this week? No. Big Tone. Miss Althea on Big Tone's statement of Sharon Osbourne as literally the female Gene Simmons. I laughed out loud and had ridiculous visions of how things may or may not have played out differently with Kiss had Sharon been their manager. Continue to send love and support, Don Tone. Like Don Corleone, yeah. There you go, Miss Althea. Always wonderful. I was going to say I had to double check and you were missing again. So I will continue on with the due diligence of what I'm doing here because you were gone again. I don't know what it is. Then I just stuck that to my lip like I was filling something with oil or something, didn't I? Remember that? The old oil cans? You had to stick that big metal thing in it. Glug, 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 glug. I remember when unleaded gasoline was like, nope, there's a new option. It's called unleaded. Really? What does that mean? It means it doesn't have lead in it. Choke in the air, you know? You know that black smoke that blew out of the back of every damn car? You know, you'd be on the freeway, and this black smoke could be bellowing out of the back of your car, and the kids would just throw the fucking fast food wrappers out the window. You know. Mike B coming in here. This is this one. This is what this one's going to be. The B-Man coming in. It's too bad that wasn't a 52, because you could be the B-52. The 69er, I don't know what the 52 is in, well, you know, kinky stuff. I don't know what the 59er would be, but we all know what the 69er is, don't we, Mike? Move over, David Lee Roth. Shane is in the house. On this week's movies that are bad, but we love them anyways, An American Werewolf in London, because I've been laid up with a bad back, and because Tubi is, well, awesome. It is. I am watching movies I haven't seen in years. This one happens to be one of my all-time favorites. A Tragedy in Fur and Fog. There's a deep, aching loneliness at the heart of An American Werewolf in London, one that howls louder than any monster ever could. It begins with laughter, two young Americans, David and Jack, backpacking across the English countryside, having a look around. Full of naive curiosity and banter, the night is cold. The moors are empty, and the locals issue a warning they won't survive long enough to understand. What follows is not just horror, but grief in transformation. A boy who becomes a beast, and a beast who remembers he used to be a boy. David's transformation into a werewolf is a masterpiece of practical effects, indeed. Visceral, bone-snapping, skin-stretching horror. But what's more horrifying than the change is what comes after. The guilt, the isolation, the knowledge that the thing you've become is a killer, and that you're still in there, watching it happen. Yes, every scream, every torn throat is another weight David can't escape. Dude, this is pretty solid. I ain't never thought about it this way. He falls in love almost by accident. Nurse Alex is warm, kind, and heartbreakingly human. Their brief moments together are tender, even, well, sweet. But they feel borrowed, doomed from the start. David knows he's continued down the next full moon. And, well, we do too. Then there's Jack's dead, decaying, and still cracking jokes. Then there's Jack. Dead, decaying, and still cracking jokes. He appears again and again, urging David to end it all before more people die. His humor is a mask, but under it is the same sorrow. Their friendship is over, and the world they knew has already bled away. Dude, this is freaking like a poem. By the time the final scene comes, it doesn't feel like horror. It feels like mourning. David, cornered and still more than a monster, a flash, a shot, a naked body on the floor, and then silence. The love story ends before it began. The laughter is gone. The closing credits roll over a bouncy doo-wop rendition of Blue Moons. And somehow, that's the saddest part of all. A horror film wrapped in a comedy, blood, and wit. You should put this on freaking Rotten Tomatoes. A horror, don't you know how to do it? You just do it like this, look. Just grab your little thing like that and you just scoop it over it. See? And then once you get it on the blue bit, then you let go of it. And then you click the right click, and then there's that copy there, and you can do that. And then you just put it on a freaking Rotten Tomatoes. A horror film wrapped in a comedy, blood, and wit. But at its core, it's a lonely howl in the dark about fate, loss, and the monsters we never asked to become. That's really all you are. You're a collection of everything that was put in front of you, taught to you. Some of it you keep, some of it you push away, but it's all coming, like that. Very good. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn and press play, and don't forget your silver bullets. And now, on to the podcast portion of Mike Buchanan, who will be ending this off. He's on Brent Hines here. Is that weird? Guess what? I need chapstick. My God. I never used chapstick. I just had dry lips, I guess. No. Because I give some kisses out and they'd say, you got some tender damn lips, dude. Oh, he's got sick in here. He's going to mention something about that too. Here we go. Brent Hines. Not really sure what to say about this other than Brent sounds very bitter and about his departure. Mastodon is a great band. Sick, meaning intentionally so written. It's used for copied or quoted words. Well, I told you how to do that, so you put some sicks in there if you got some stuff wrong. That appears odd or erroneous to show that the word is, quote, exactly as stands in the original. I got that. Miss Althea said that. In that sentence, he said, I want Miss being in a shit band with horrible humans. The word want doesn't fit the sentence. Mostly used in legal documents, but we'll see it from time to time in journalism. Oh, so this guy does have a couple journalism chops. How's he knowing about that? How's he knowing about this if he doesn't have a couple journalism chops? And thus ends my English lesson of the week, because his mother was an English teacher. My brain hurts, and oh, my mama would be so proud. Mike Buchanan on Blackie Lawless. Glad to hear he's back, being healthy. Maybe he can come back to my area and perform that show he canceled because of his back. I know, pipe dream. The answer to your question about chiropractors being doctors. All right, yes. They are considered doctors, but don't go by MDs. Instead, go by DC. That would be medical doctor and doctor of chiropractic. Now back to Blackie. I would be the first in line to buy new Wasp album if they bring back Chris Holmes and Randy Piper. Damn, I'd love to hear that shit. Get some old raggedy dudes that have been around the sun with you 1,000 times. Other than that happening, I'm good without getting a new album. I stopped looking at my feet and started looking at the sky. You know what? I fell in a hole. Thanks a lot, Shane. Oh, the manhole cover was off? I kid, of course. I fell off a cliff. Yeah, don't do that. That's not the time to stop looking at your feet. If you're up hiking with someone. If you're just walking around in circles talking on the phone, or walking around in circles freaking worried about every damn problem that's hasn't even happened yet, that you got in your mind already. Oh God, what am I going to do? What if that happens and I get... Just stop thinking about it and look at the clouds for a while. Sit there for 15 minutes and look at the sky, and your problems will be solved. Put your hands on a tree. Feel the energy pulsing through it. Your problems will be solved. I stopped looking at my... Okay. Shane, we all love it when your videos go off the rails. I get it that bands want to keep performing. Okay, that's just a one-zinger. I get it that bands want to keep performing, but sometimes it's time to hang it up. Brian Johnson still has chops, and from where we're hearing it, could be sound. Oh, okay, and from where we're hearing it, it could have been the sound system. I mean, it wasn't the greatest audio there because I didn't hear any low end. I want to hear that bass and drum. You know, the rhythm section. Don't know. Seems like he just dropped words, and Angus isn't performing the greatest. Glad I saw them when AC/DC was in their prime. Saw them in '85 for the Fly on the Wall tour. My God. Sink the pink. Now, there was some weirdness with Fly on the Wall and Who Made Who. Because when I saw Maximum Overdrive and the whole freaking Who Made, you know, all of those AC/DC songs were on it, that was great. But I think there was some rinkety-doo, some weirdness about Fly on the Wall, and I think that's the worst album that they ever put out, but I had it. And didn't it have like a couple Bon Scott hits on it too? Maybe that's Who Made Who. I can't remember. And now, ending out this podcast, yes indeed, it is Mike Buchanan, 69er, with Jive Talkin Jokes of the Week. And I want you to get out there and just breathe deep. And just not worry about it. Just allow yourself, say, you know what? Be selfish. Give yourself one day and say, I don't give a shit about anybody or anything. Just me. I'm going to be selfish today. Just do it one day. And now, Jive Talkin Jokes of the Week. What do you call a cow that eats grass in your backyard? A lawnmower. Mower. What dinosaur loves pancakes? A triceratops. So this clown and a kid are walking through the woods one night. The kid keeps crying. The clown says, Why are you crying for? I'm the one that has to walk back alone. Oh. It's kind of like that serial killer joke where they said, picks a guy up in a hitchhiker walking down the road, and he gets picked up in the car. And the hitchhiker says, oh, you know, nervous riding with people, serial killers, you know, and all. And he says, no, that's impossible that there'd be two serial killers in one car. Or is that an old Mike Buchanan joke that he's told? Here's another one. What happens when a microscope runs into a telescope? They kaleidoscope. And finally, did you hear about the watchmaker who is half Spanish and half Irish? His name is Juan O'Clock. I'll show myself out now. He's got another one here. It says, and before I go, I will not be around for next week's Jive Talkin episode. I will be on vacation at the lake with my family in PA. That's Pennsylvania. That I grew up on. I'm out there, out at the lake in PA. That's where I grew up on. Boating, swimming, fishing, and hanging with my family. I will see you all, and see you all for episode 188. Hashtag get Shane to 100K. And hashtag Liquid Death sponsorship. All right, you be careful out there boating and swimming and fishing and hanging out with family. And why are you putting hanging out with your family last? That needs to be first. I'm going down to the lake. That's the place where I grew up. That's the info we needed. You're a journalist, you know this. Then you say, I'm going to be hanging out with my beloved family, boating, swimming, fishing, and also hanging out. All right, very, very well done, you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Here we go. We're doing it again. Let's, like I've always said, this is therapy for me. So maybe I'm just speaking out my brains, but I believe the greatest days of our lives are yet to come. That's what I truly believe. And it will be, as a young kid growing up and playing with Star Wars, Johnny B playing, I had all the action figures, the Darth Vader head, the whole thing. And I had, we were poor. So, the little bastard down the street had, the X-Wing fighter and the Death Star and the fucking one with 4 legs. I didn't even have the one with 2 legs. But in the back of your mind, Star Trek, all of that, you've always said, what a wonderful, wouldn't that be just an amazing world? And we're on the precipice of that. We're and no time soon are we going to be beam me up, Scotty, or anything like that. But the door is ajar now to the idea of, come on, let's all start hanging, chilling, I think. Anyways, we're going to get out with a quick tune here, if you don't mind. And I'm going to say I appreciate you all for tuning in like you do. You're very, very, very great. Don't ever not think that you're not. I am you. You are me. We're all on this wonderful, beautiful planet Gaia together, trying to make it a better place. Boy, that almost sounds like an infomercial or something, doesn't it? Oh, wait. One more thing I want to say before I get into this. Bar rescue guy. I'm looking on Paramount Plus. He's now a marriage counselor. I had to watch an episode last night. The bar rescue. Hey, what the heck you tell you? You're a jerk. You don't know how to run a business around here. And he's the same guy in the episode. Maybe you're just a horrible wife. You ever think about that? And look at you. Well, you got a tiny penis. She don't like that. She wants a big one. She like the big ones. I mean, he's just going for it. So it was like, all right, time to go now. Let's get it out. Let's come on, baby. Gonna just out with this tune. I didn't go the wrong way. He's going boating with his family, boating and a fishing and a hanging out. Jive talking with your friends. Kind of going more Steely Dan with this one and just music bits.